So how is it going, Dank Division? Dank Dan here, and we're going to be discussing all of the new game mechanics as well as the changes to the current game mechanics that we are going to be seeing in game. Let's dive in. So you're probably wondering, what the fuck am I doing playing a custom game on Modern Warfare 2019? Well, the answer is very, very simple, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing we're going to be discussing is changes to the Gulag. Now, there's already talk that they might change it from the showers to shipment. There's no confirmation on that necessarily. That's just a going rumor. But the biggest issue that we have always been seeing is whether or not we are able to finally get something other than a starting pistol when you win. Because let's face it, that is the biggest problem that you face whenever, and I will repeat the phrase, whenever you drop back in, is that you are literally screwed because you have the starting pistol. Well, going into Warzone Pacific, you will actually be able to walk away with whatever weapon you happen to be using in the Gulag. Now, this can be a blessing and a curse. You might be walking away with an SMG, or you might get stuck with a sniper rifle and not be good with it. The possibilities are endless, but that also means that you'll be able to play it smart, because any remaining equipment and ammo that you have in the Gulag will be fair game. That means if you don't use your tactical, if you don't use your lethal, that means stuns, Molotovs, etc., you will be able to keep as you exit the Gulag. So this might have people not necessarily using everything that they get in the Gulag. So moving on to the next topic, this is going to be the field upgrades and the loadout items. First of which, they have already confirmed that we will be seeing a nerf. That is right, a nerf to none other than Dead Silence. Now, what direction could they go in? Could they use the Vanguard version of Dead Silence, where it only silences your feet but does not make you run at god tier speed? That still remains to be seen. But that begs the question, how far are they going to go with the nerf? The other thing that you can all rest easy knowing this, stopping power, completely out of the equation, not something to even consider anymore. It is going out the window, out the door. You will not see it anymore. So, in addition to pretty much those changes, there's going to be various equipment changes. They're going to quite possibly nerf stun grenades and heartbeat sensors. How they will nerf them is pretty much up in the air, because let's face it, the going thing is everyone always carries stun grenades just as a way of pretty much laying people out flat because they, well, can't aim, can't move, can't do anything. Heartbeat sensors are pretty much every camper's paradise. Sit in a corner, pull it out, and just see where the other person is. Hell, I'm using it right now in game just as a reference. If they actually wanted to nerf it, the best bet would probably be have a battery source where it only lasts for maybe 10 seconds, then needs time to recharge. After that, you're pretty much sitting ducks in the dark. They also are going to be taking a closer look at any dual-wielding weapons, specifically the size and the collie sticks. Let's face it, those have been a nuisance since day one, since their inception. They have been a pain in the ass. Now, how are they going to nerf this? Is this going to be that maybe it'll instead take more damage in order to kill someone? Does this mean that they're going to instead have it that the hit range is going to be much further? That still remains to be seen. They're also going to be changing the less potent thing of having gun button. Gun button, as we already know it, has been a gigantic pain in the ass, but it will no longer be the primary method of beating the shit out of your opponents in the new map. So another major change is, of course, loadout drops. Now let's face it, we've all done it, we all try to do it. At the beginning of the match, you try to get as much money as you can, as quickly as you can, in an attempt to get your loadout before the first circle. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be a change. Loadouts will not be purchasable before the first loadout drop. So you'll instead have to wait until after that first loadout drop, which usually happens around the first circle. This then shifts loadouts being that early on play to instead being a much later play, a much more laid back, where it's more of a mid to late game play, and it's also a case of you have to hold on to that money and spend it more wisely. With that being said, there are also going to be other nerfs. Several lethal and tactical equipment pieces are pretty much in need of buffs. Let's put it this way. The most lethal equipment is still going to deal more damage, while they're also looking at making the snapshot grenade actually have a more effective damage. Have a little bit more of an effective radius. The stim is also rumored to be including a slight movement boost. This might be a way of people being able to, you know, quote unquote have the dead silence speed without having, you know, the dead silence speed. Another thing that they're talking about is actually making decoy grenades a little viable. How so? Pack those motherfuckers with rubber bullets, so that when the decoy gets thrown, it'll do a little damage, just so that it annoys you all that much more. So, let's talk about something that has plagued us every single game. You're in the end circles. You have a gas mask, whether you picked it up off the ground, whether you got it from a red box, the end result is still pretty much exactly the same. You go in and out of the stupid gas, and you die because the animation screws you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they have confirmed that gas masks will not be interrupting as many animations as they previously did. This is going to make it easier to pull off your mask and put your mask on, as well as plating up and reloading while getting out of the circle collapse, but still always favoring the combat advantage of those who are already in the circle, rather than making it a play to stay always outside. Gas masks may also offer a little bit of protection against gas canisters. Yeah, that's right. Instead of having it that when you throw a gas grenade, that it does nothing for you, it may actually help you. It's also worth noting, and this is where things get entertaining, the gas canisters. Imagine, and I'm not making this one up, being able to send a little present up the ascender. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. They're talking about being able to send little presents up the ascender rather than just yourself. Because let's face it, we've all done it. We've all gone straight up into the air, only to pretty much be met by a team of 4 jack-offs who have pretty much been sitting in a corner the entire match and haven't left there since probably the Nixon administration. But that will change, because believe me, the first thing I would probably send up there, C4. Hands down, a C4. So a lot of people have also been asking questions about whether or not you will be able to swim in Caldera, seeing as how we're pretty much on this wonderful little island. Well, good news, bad news. The bad news is you're still not going to be able to swim. The good news is that the new location that we did see a little bit of a teaser for today, the lagoon, you will be able to wade through the shallow water. Now, there are going to be benefits and curses to using this method. The first of which is going to be, of course, a major problem. Let's face it, anyone who's actually treaded through high water will confirm that this is real. You are going to have it that you are slower when walking through shallow water. It is also worth noting that while it is going to be harder to walk through, your footsteps are going to be harder to track. Now, some of you are wondering, well, what does that mean for the tracker perk? Well, the tracker perk is going to actually also have a hard time being able to track anyone whose footsteps just happen to be through the water. What's better yet, if you happen to crouch in knee-high water, you will gain the effects of cold-blooded without being required to have the perk. But also note this, you cannot go prone. Now, another thing that they teased today in one of the nice little postcards, which we can also now confirm, is that fire-based weapons, this includes, of course, the Molotov, when thrown on the water, will cause a wonderful little smoke screen. Now, how long is this smoke screen going to last? Is it going to be thicker, or is it going to be thinner, of course, than the already existing smoke grenade that we've already seen in-game? That still remains to be seen, and we'll have to wait to see how that one plays out. Now, there are some people also questioning, okay, What about contracts? We've all kind of gotten sick and tired of the current ones. Is there anything new? And ladies and gentlemen, believe me when I say yes, yes there is. First of which is, of course, that now you'll be able to find the supply drop contract. How this one works is that by completing it, you'll be able to airlift valuable crates onto the map for anyone to pick up, but only has its exact location revealed by the people who have the contract. So, here's my personal favorite, Big Game Bounty. So how does this one work? Well, it's very similar to the current one for bounties, just one major change. This is going to, instead of targeting whoever's closest to you, this bad boy is instead going to target Bruno John. Sorry, I'm thinking of the player that would probably be the first one I would expect to be targeted. This will target the operator with the highest kill count. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, this is going to really suck. Well, if you happen to be this player, the one who has the highest kills, only one of these exists per match. Meaning, someone only has one chance to track you down and kill you. After that, it's gone. It's history. You will not see it again for the rest of the match. There's also the top secret one. Now, what exactly does this one do? This one, as you would expect, they claim, until you pick it up, they don't really specify it, but what it does is it's going to give even greater rewards compared to the standard loot from contracts, and it just happens to pull from a better pool than you've already seen. So now you might be wondering about the public events. So they're going to be taking a page out of the current event and throwing in far more events into the Caldera version of Battle Royale, rather than just what they've been currently doing, which is just, having the normal mode. So the first of which is going to be restocks, as well as resurgences. This means that if, let's say, you have one person left alive, as it's been made famous by Rebirth Island, your teammates will all spawn back in, given a timer. There's also rumored of special weapons crates. Now, some of you might be wondering, well, big fucking whoop, we've seen weapon crates before. What makes them so special? Well, what makes them so special is that within them are weapons not typically in Vanguard. This could be any weapon from Modern Warfare to Black Ops Cold War, some of which could end up being some of the metas that we have seen in the past. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much all the game mechanics that we have seen that are going to be getting changed. Let me know in your comment section down below, are there any mechanics that you think got overlooked and desperately need a change? Are there ones that you think are a win or a loss? I'd love to hear those comments in the sections down below. So don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment down below. I always love the conversations I see with you guys. Don't forget to click that subscribe button to help this channel grow and to pretty much keep up to date on all the things that we're going to be seeing here in Call of Duty. And with that being said, you guys have a wonderful day, night, whatever you're doing, do it wholeheartedly. And of course, as always, this is Dank Dan, who just died again to his closest friend, signing off.
Get them to hit that subscribe button, Dank. It's the only way we can figure out the numbers.
15.
What do the numbers mean, Dank? We're wasting valuable time.